Hello, this is another edition of Stuart Dahl Show, starring myself, Stuart Dahl. For you people that do not know me, you can call me by my first name, Stuart, or Stu, or Stewie, I honestly don't care. And for you people that do know me or do not know me, I'm from Lahr, Baden-Württemberg, Germany. I was born there October 16th, 1990. And right now in Winnipeg, the current temperature is 23 degrees with the humidex feeling like 31 right now, with sunny skies expected today, and then a high of 29, and then tonight partly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers overnight, and maybe late this evening and overnight, maybe the risk of a thunderstorm, and a low of 17. So, that'll kind of, cool things off tonight, from the heat. Like, we only get heat once a year, so, might as well enjoy it before old man winter comes knocking on our doors again. What else? Let's just get right into my show. In some sports-related scores, in the CFL on Wednesday's Friday Night Football in the doubleheader. In the first game, the Ottawa Red Blacks defeated the Calgary Stampeders 29-26, and in the second game in the Wednesday's Friday Night doubleheader, the Toronto Argonauts beat the BC Lions 30-27. And then tonight in the CFL, the Winnipeg Bombers take on the Edmonton Eskimos, and the cap off Week 5 in the CFL, the Saskatchewan Roughriders take on the Hamilton Tiger. And that concludes Week 5 of the CFL. And some MLB, and here are the Major League Baseball scores from last night. The Philadelphia Phillies beat the Chicago Cubs 5-3. The Boston Red Sox beat the Detroit Tigers 2-1. The Chicago White Sox beat the Cleveland Indians 6-0. Houston Astros beat the Kansas City Royals 4-0. The St. Louis Cardinals beat the Atlanta Braves 4-2. The Milwaukee Brewers beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 2-1. The San Diego Padres beat the Miami Marlins 3-1. The San Francisco Giants beat the Oakland Athletics 9-3. The Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Washington Nationals 7-5. The Tampa Bay Rays beat the Baltimore Orioles 3-1. The LA Dodgers beat New York Mets 7-2. The Minnesota Twins beat the New York Yankees 10-1. And that is an ugly score if I don't say so myself when it comes to baseball. What else? The Colorado Rockies beat the Cincinnati Reds 6-5. The Texas Rangers beat the LA Angels 4-2. And the Seattle Mariners beat the Toronto Blue Jays 5-2. And here are the games for today in Major League Baseball. The Boston Red Sox take on the Detroit Tigers. The San Francisco Giants take on the Oakland Athletics. The Tampa Bay Rays take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Chicago White Sox take on the Cleveland Indians. The LA Angels take on the New York Mets. The Atlanta Braves take on the St. Louis Cardinals. The Milwaukee Brewers take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Texas Rangers take on the LA Angels. The Philadelphia Phillies take on the Chicago Cubs. The Seattle Mariners take on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Washington Nationals. The Houston Astros take on the Kansas City Royals. The New York Yankees take on the Minnesota Twins. Hopefully, that doesn't turn into another ugly one for the New York Yankees today. The Colorado Rockies face the Cincinnati Reds. And the last game of the MLB schedule today is the San Diego Padres taking on the Miami Marlins. And that is the Major League Baseball schedule for today. Let's just get in and on a news-related subject. A Russian physicist who worked for a top German research institute is suspected of spying for Moscow between 2009 and 2011, according to a report in the German weekly to be published Saturday. A 28-year-old specialist in quantum optics, and I can't remember what else, used to make high-power computers and worked for some sort of institute for several months between 2009 and 2011. Basically, long story short, the German Weekly says the man identified as Ivan A. transmitted confidential research results to the Russian secret services during that time. German intelligence officials fell on the researcher's trail after monitoring a Russian diplomat who worked in the consulate in Bonn in the west of Germany, and who met Ivan A. Every month, according to the Weekly. The German intelligence officials identified the diplomat as an officer of the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service. So, it just goes to show you how sometimes, stuff can get really crazy and chaotic in Europe, or, it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. What else? In a political related subject, talks to agree on a new 86 billion bailout for Greece ran into trouble on Friday after Athens raised hurdles for negotiators in the Greek capital, forcing them to postpone their arrival and postpone their arrival. Alexis Tsipras, the Greek Prime Minister, agreed last week to fully normalize talks with creditors on the ground in Athens after ceding their presence for months, a key demand made by the Euro leaders when they agreed to reopen rescue talks after coming close to pushing Greece out of the Eurozone. But senior officials from Greece's bailout monitors said Athens is instead demanded restrictions on negotiators, including on whom creditors could meet and what the topics were to be discussed in the talks. Two of the officials say Greece authorities have also been instated that negotiators no longer use Athens Hilton as their base, a hotel close to the central basically the central square in Athens, in other words, and a short drive to the financial ministry. Instead, proposing hotels far from the capital's government quarter. Greek officials instate renewed standoff that is only temporarily delayed, and that the talks will resume over the weekend or Monday at the latest. I'm not even going to pronounce. The economy minister said he is confident that negotiations would be finished by mid-August, and Athens needs the bailout package to pay off a 3 billion bond held by the ECB. So it just goes to show you that right now that the Greek debt crisis is far from over. What else? In another news-related subject, Toronto police have issued an arrest warrant for a Brazilian water polo player who was accused of sexually assaulting a woman while in Canada for the Pan Am Games. But their hunt for the man who has since left the country will be complicated because Canada does not have an extradition treaty with Brazil. Brazil's constitution forbids the extradition of its own citizens except in cases of drug trafficking or in the case of naturalized citizens for crimes committed before they become citizens. But it does not necessarily mean that Brazil won't help Canada bring 27-year-old man to justice. Police said that Friday that they are working to bring with the Brazilian authorities to locate this 27-year-old man. They won't be able to put him on a plane back to Canada. So it just goes to show you, sometimes when it comes to this stuff, politics can be, really crazy and chaotic. And what else? In another news related subject, what else? Anyways, what else? What was I getting into? In another news-related subject, the conflict in eastern Ukraine has been going on for like a long time. And what was I going to say? Here's the subject. Here's a news-related topic in relation to the conflict in eastern Ukraine. The self-declared Republic of Tanz or whatever, bordering Moldova and Ukraine, has ordered the mobilization of men aged 18 to 27 and fears that could become the next east-west flashpoint. The mobilization ordered in a decree signed by the president or whatever. In force until the end of the year. The decree called up for military duty in the armed forces and integral troops, all reserves age 18 to 27. The Silver Land in eastern Moldova, Russian-speaking, broke away from the Moldovan state in the 1990s after a brief war. With the conflict frozen remain in Tanz or whatever, in long story short, it remains home to over 1,000 Russian peacekeeping troops and is often regarded as a Moscow proxy in southeastern Europe, used to check Western influence in the region. In May, Kiev suspended an agreement with Moscow allowing the military transit rights across Ukraine to forcing Russia to resupply its peacekeepers via an airport in the Moldovan capital. This has become a source of resentment for Moscow, which points to cases of Russian soldiers being prohibited from entering the country by Moldovan authorities as an unjustified interference in the peacekeeping operations. It just goes to show you that, it's getting really crazy and sick and chaotic in this, situation in eastern Ukraine. But this is another edition of Stuart Dahl's show. I am signing off for now. For young people, stay in school, stay out of trouble, you'll do fine. Auf Wiedersehen, peace, and bye-bye for now, and stay cool, my friend.